having a mindful movement practice is a really good way to manage anxiety. It's a really good way to bolster your immune system. Pretty much anything you can do to help manage your anxiety is good for your immune system. So that's something to keep in mind with yoga or any other kind of movement practice that you want to have while, excuse me, while you're at home during the shelter-in-place period. Yoga is nice because you don't need any props. You just need a space that's long enough for something like a yoga mat. You can practice on a bare floor, and that's it. So we'll get started in a comfortable seated position. You can try virasana pose or hero's pose with your knees together and your feet apart and your hips elevated, or with your legs crossed. Either way is fine. I'm just going to check on the chat real quick because I see some folks coming in and asking questions.
Sorry, just me. I was just saying, I'm gonna have to bolt at 12:30. I didn't realize that yoga was still happening. That's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. No worries at all. Thank you guys for joining. It's fine if you need to come in and out, not a problem. Just keep yourselves muted. There won't be any dinging if you come or go. And I'll make sure I just distribute this video because I am recording it. I'll send it out afterwards so that you guys have it on hand. I might not be able to do live classes every Tuesday, so I'll make sure I have something recorded in advance to send out to you guys. So thank you all. Okay, so we'll get started on our comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. I like to elevate my hips. That allows you to sit up nice and tall from seat to crown with a lot of ease. And just kind of get familiar with your space. So another thing that happens when anxiety is high is it's very hard to come into the present moment. Anxiety lives in the past and the future. So something you can do is use your 5 senses. So start by just observing the space around you, allowing your eyes to wander wherever they would naturally want to go. So maybe you're drawn to specific colors or light or shadow. Maybe your eyes want to rest on something specific or wander. You can also listen and track some sounds, maybe the sound of my voice or the sound of outside my window. I can hear traffic faintly. And then moving our focus inward a little bit more, focusing on the sensation of touch. So coming out of our space and into our bodies, noticing where your hands are maybe touching your legs or your ankles are touching the floor or your feet is touching the cushion. Maybe your fabric of your clothing touching your skin. And then moving a bit more internal. If it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes or just soften your gaze and start to track your breath as it is right now. So we're beginning our neutral observation practice. We're not trying to change anything. We're just meeting ourselves where we're at without judgment. So in this moment, my breath is shallow. In this moment, my breath is deep. Maybe in this moment, your breath is warm or cool. Maybe you can feel it in a certain part of your body. Just see if you can stay with your breath. So keeping your attention on the in movement and out movement of your breath for a couple rounds. And then begin to elongate your out breath by pushing just a little bit extra out, making a little bit more room for a natural, larger, deeper inhale. Wherever you're at in your breath cycle, let's all take a big exhale, pressing all of the air out of your lungs. Big inhale through the nose. Big breath out through the mouth. 2 more like that. Feel free to make sound on the inhale and outhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Great job. And if you're ready to, you can flutter your eyes open, coming back to the space. And we'll begin by dropping our ear to our shoulder. And just notice if there's any tension right away in your neck. A lot of our home spaces are not optimized for working at home for long periods of time. That's usually our office space. So you might find that you've been working in a way that's not very ergonomic, and that might be showing up in your neck and shoulders. So begin by breathing deeply into any sensation that you're feeling in the neck. And as you continue your breath, you can slowly roll forward, tucking your chin into your chest, taking in all that information your neck is giving you as you continue to roll opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Breathing deeply and continuing, dropping your crown back, reaching your chin up. Continue on at a pace that feels really good to you. Option to reach up and give yourself some love, a little self-massage when you find an area that needs it. Breathing deeply, sitting up nice and tall. And you get all the way around your next complete full circle, ending with your chin tucked into your chest. Then roll your neck up through neutral. And begin again on the opposite side. So opposite ear to opposite shoulder, rolling the chin forward. Ear to shoulder, crown back, chin up. Noticing tension, noticing sensation, breathing very deeply and consciously into the spaces that need it most in your neck and shoulders. Reaching up as you feel guided to, maybe spending extra time in a certain spot. And when you're ready, coming back to neutral, chin at your chest and rolling up through center. Good job. On our inhale, let's all reach up together, arms stretched nice and long overhead. And if you exhale, twist to your right, dropping your left and your right hand down, reaching up nice and tall, twisting your upper body from belly button all the way up through your shoulders, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, reach up even taller. And as you exhale, come back to center. Inhale, reach up nice and long. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, reaching up, nice and long through the spine, looking over your left shoulder. And exhale, back to center. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, back to center. One more time to the left. Inhale, reach up long. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, coming back to center. This time we'll inhale, reach our arms up nice and long again. Exhale, drop the right hand down to the floor. Reach long with your left arm, getting a nice long stretch through the side body. Inhale, shine your heart up towards the sky. And exhale, coming back up to center. Inhale, reach up long. Exhale, stretch left, reach with the right. Inhale, heart up. And exhale, coming back up to center. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, drop to the right, reach with the left. Inhale, heart up. And exhale, center. Inhale up. Exhale, drop left, reach right. Inhale, heart up. And exhale, back up to center. Good job. Let's come off of our seat. Take anything that you're using as a bolster or a block out from under you and come onto our hands and knees for some cat and cow. So you're going to want your knees directly under your hips, your wrists right under your shoulders, and your hands spread out really wide. Not sure if you can see that because I'm backlit, but super wide fingers. Fingertips pressing into the ground underneath you, so a nice strong grip on your mat or the floor. As you inhale, you're going to lower the belly button, lift the heart and the tailbone. This is our cow pose. Exhale, lift your navel up and into your spine as you arch in the opposite direction. For cat, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Really use the full duration of whatever length your inhales and exhales are. So it's okay if we're out of sync here. And use this opportunity to really warm up your spine. So letting your breath guide your movement rather than your movement guiding your breath. If you need to move in some organic ways to warm up your spine, maybe some side bends, maybe some head and tailbone rolls. Do whatever is going to make your back feel nice and warmed up. One more full round of inhale and exhale. And when you've completed that, come into your neutral tabletop, tuck your toes under your feet, and then use your ab strength, or lifting your navel up into your spine, to lift your shins off the ground so that your shins are parallel to the ground. How's that for a little ab work in the morning, afternoon rather? Big deep breath. And as you exhale, send your hips up and back into downward dog. You might need to walk your hands forward a little bit. So as you come into your first downward dog, you're pressing the floor away from you with your hands. Your heels are reaching down towards the ground, but you might have your knees bent. You might start off by doing some pedaling with the feet. You might shake your head yes or no. Sorry for my sweatshirt. I'm going to take it off so it doesn't make a bunch of noise. Stay in your downward dog. Pedaling out the feet, maybe wagging your tail from left to right. Really just working again to warm up the body. And then finding stillness as your tailbone reaches up. Your legs are pulling forward as your hands are pressing you back. Heels reaching down towards the ground. Again, totally fine if you have a subtle or generous bend in your knees if you're still getting a stretch there. Let's all take a big inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. And your next inhale, come up to the balls of your feet. Take some steps to get you to the front of your mat. Measure about 2 fists width between your big toes, and that's roughly hip distance apart. And then go ahead and just allow your upper body to become really soft and melt forward into the ground here. And so rather than having straight legs and a curved spine like this, I'd rather see you, for this forward bend, forward fold, really generously bend your knees so that you can close the gap between your low belly and the tops of your thighs. And from there, you can lift your tailbones up into the air. Shake your head, yes. Now make sure your neck is nice and loose. You can clasp opposite elbows and sway back and forth. We're bringing space into the vertebrae, allowing the weight of our spine to create space between our vertebrae. And we're going to do a couple little visualization exercise here. So on the inhale, you'll imagine something that's not serving you, maybe a situation, maybe a person, maybe whatever, a feeling that's not serving you. Imagine it as a physical object on your back as you inhale, and as you exhale, imagine it coming down your spine and melting into the ground below you. So you're giving it back to the earth. So inhale, imagine whatever's not serving you on your tailbone here. And as you exhale, allow it to exit through the crown of your head and into the earth. One last time, inhale. Exit, allow it to exit, right, give it back. All right, and go ahead and bend your knees. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, all the way up to standing. Still, your feet are about hips width apart. And we're going to inhale our head, arms overhead. Clasp your right hand around your left wrist. And as you exhale, press down into your left foot. Send your hips to the left as you stretch your upper body to the right. Inhale back up. Clasp the opposite wrist. Send your hips to the right as you exhale, and your upper body to the left. One more time, inhale up, switch your grip. Exhale, press to the right. Inhale up, switch your grip. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale up. And release. Grab your arms, clasp your fingertips in opposite way that feels natural to you behind your back. And then as you inhale, allow your upper body, your chest, your heart to shine upwards as your gaze is lifted. So not crunching through the back of the neck, but gaze is lifted. And exhale, release. One more time, inhale. Heart shines up. Exhale, release. Great job. We're going to practice some sun salutations now. So staying with at the top of your mat, feet hips width apart. So again, roughly two fist widths. It's about hips distance apart. And coming to the front of your mat with your feet parallel to the sides of your mat. So toes pointing forward, heels pointing back. We're going to lift our toes up off the mat, which lifts your arches. And then slowly spread your toes down to the floor. Some nice strong foundation. Lift your kneecaps to engage the muscles in your legs so we're not passively standing, we're actively really grounding down into our legs. Lengthen the tailbone down towards the floor. Root down through your heels to float up through the crown of your head, and then bring some energy to your fingertips as you reach down. There's really active tension rooting down and rising up here. Big inhale, big exhale. That's our super strong mountain pose. As we inhale, our arms will come up, reach up, look up. Exhale, we'll fold forward, hinging at our hips with a flat back, coming down to either one of your block substitutes or all the way to the floor in the forward fold. Inhale, we'll halfway lift. Heart is shining forward, lung through the back of the neck. Exhale, plant your hands strongly on the ground as you step back into a plank. We're going to hold it here for a second. So check in with your plank. You're going to have to kind of, I think it's propriocept here. So you can't see yourself in a mirror necessarily, but if you feel your butt up here, bring it down. If you feel like you're a sagging, bring it up. Along through the back of the neck. Big inhale. And as you exhale, press forward with your toes, lower down through chaturanga, so elbows into the sides, and then all the way to the ground. Squeeze your legs together and press them down into the ground. And on your inhale, lift with the strength of your back up into low cobra. So elbows are pinned into the body. You can lift your hands off of the mat, along through the back of the neck. Inhale a bit higher. And exhale, allow yourself to totally relax, allowing your feet to flop out. Head is resting to one side. And then bring your hands back to either side of your chest. Elbows into your body. Feet or legs are squeezing towards the midline and pressing down into the earth. Inhale up. Lift your hands off the floor. Check your strength. Inhale up a little higher. And exhale, release, allowing your head to collapse to the opposite side. Feet are totally relaxed. And then coming back up, we'll clasp our hands in opposite way that feels natural behind our back. Again, legs are going to be squeezing towards the midline. It's okay if they're not touching, but they're not out like this. We'll inhale up, pressing the knuckles back towards your heels, lifting through the back of your legs, squeezing towards the midline. Inhale up a bit higher, and exhale, release. Awesome job, guys. This kind of back work, stretching through the front body and strengthening through the back body, is a wonderful correction to sitting in a chair all day, every day. And so now, if you want to go a step further, you can grab opposite ankles, and then we're going to press up into wheel pose. But if you don't want to do that, please continue to do this exercise or come back to low cobra. So if you're going further, grab behind your ankles, and you'll kick your feet into your hands as you pull yourself up. So inhale up. Stay long through the back of the neck. Nice stretch through the front body. Knees reaching towards the midline, the center line, so toward one another. Inhale up a little higher. Exhale. Release. That was a lot of work. Good job, guys. And bring your hands up to either side of your chest. You're going to press up either through half plank into downward dog or full plank into downward dog. Either way is fine. And we'll take 3 nice big rounds of breath here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Pressing the hands into the floor, heels reaching down, navel lifting up. On your next inhale, come up to the balls of your feet. Step, walk, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Heart shines forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive with your flat back, arms reach up, look up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We're going to do another couple rounds of these. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hand comes to shins or blocks, heart shines forward. Exhale. Step all the way back to plank, this time lowering down immediately into low cobra or through chaturanga into upward facing dog. If you're in upward facing dog, as you exhale, you'll roll over the tops of your feet. If you're in cobra, you'll press up through plank and we'll all meet up in downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. Strongly pressing the floor away. Next, inhale, come up to the balls of your feet. Step, walk, or jump to the front of your mat. If you want to jump to the front of your mat, kind of look where you're going and use your feet to propel you there. You're at home, so you can fall all you want. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. All the way up, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, we reach up. Exhale, forward fold with a flat back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step or jump back to chaturanga and move through to upward facing dog or low cobra. And then everybody meeting in downward facing dog. All right. On your next inhale, come up to the balls of your feet. Step, walk, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Reach up, look up. Exhale. Close your eyes and pause here with hands at heart center. So resisting the urge to adjust any clothing or your hair, or change how your feet are standing if they're uneven. And coming back into that practice of neutral observation that we started class with. So just taking inventory of maybe thoughts, emotions, body sensations, really whatever's coming up for you, and not attaching to it, just watching it like it's on a movie screen. So, for example, in this moment, I have an itch under my left arm. In this moment, I feel grumbly in my stomach because I'm hungry. In this moment, it feels like my feet are standing on different planes. All of those things are okay. Don't have to adjust. Don't have to react. And after a couple breaths, interestingly, they pass. So when you're ready, you can let that practice go. Shake it out. And we're going to move on to the next variation of salutations in our practice today. So again, starting at the front of the mat. I'm going to have to play with the angle of how we do these virtual classes. I've not done them before, so you guys can let me know what you think. If it would be more valuable for me to practice at like an angle or switch up how I'm showing you guys things. But anyway, for now, come to the front of your mat. Feet hips width apart again, so 2/5. Feet parallel to the mat, lifting up your toes and your arches, spreading your toes down. Getting that nice solid foundation going as you lift your kneecaps, strengthen through your legs, pressing down through your heels, sending your tailbone down as you float up through the crown, and then reaching the arms down energetically. Big in-breath. Big out breath. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, this time sit back in a chair. So we're in Thunderbolt. And take a look down at your toes. And if your knees are covering your toes from view, you can't see them, then drag your shins back in space to send your hips back so that you can see your toes. And so you're also going to send your tailbone down towards the earth as you lift your heart and your gaze up. Big inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or walk your feet back. Move through low cobra or upward dog. And we'll all meet in downward dog. Inhale, your right leg comes up. So not quite opening, but more like both of your hips are parallel with the floor. Inhale, inhale, leg is out. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg out. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Drop your right foot down between your hands. Drop your knee down to the floor, your left knee, and untuck your left foot. As we inhale, we'll squeeze our foundation nice and strong. So you're squeezing your left knee towards your right heel and then your right heel back towards your knee. So really strong foundation. Inhale, reach up into low lunge. Big inhale. Exhale, open your arms, twisting your upper body to the right. Inhale, reach up towards center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, up towards center. Slight back bend. And exhale, hands come to the mat. Untuck your left toe, send your right foot back. And then move through your version of flow, either chaturanga, up dog, down dog, or low cobra, plank, down dog. Inhale, the left leg comes up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left leg back into three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, up. Exhale, knee to nose. This time, drop your left foot down, inch it forward as you lower your right knee to the floor and untuck your right toe. So nice and strong through your base legs. You might have to drop your right hip forward and drag your left hip back so that you're not doing one of these funny out things. Your hips are on an even plane with the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, up. Slight back bend. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Untuck the toe. Travel through your flow. Everyone meeting in down dog. 3 rounds of breath here. Pressing the floor away from you very strongly with your arms. Try to use the strength of your legs to pull your toes towards your hands. So it's very active through the legs. Inhale up to the balls of your feet. Step, walk, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Reach up, look up. Exhale, hand comes to heart center. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, sit back in your chair. Again, checking in with your toes if you can't see them. Hips and shins move back. Tailbone down, chest and gaze up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, planting the hands, step it back, move through up dog or low cobra. Everybody meeting in downward dog. Inhale the right leg up into three-legged dog. Open your hip up so that you're, rather than your hip being parallel to the ground, it is nice and open, and you can draw nice big circles with your knee. And then reverse directions, bringing synovial fluid into your joints. Warming up the hips. Flatten your, make your hips parallel to the ground again. So you're in three-legged dog. Inhale up nice and strong. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant the right foot down. Spiral your left foot so that it's at 45 degrees. Inhale all the way up, plant through warrior two. So you're in a nice deep lunge. Arms are out beside you, tailbone is reaching down towards the ground. And you're being pulled in two directions as you gaze over your right fingertips. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. So I'm just wrapping my left arm behind my hips, but you can also just rest it on your leg. Inhale, exhale, spiral all the way down to the floor. Step your right foot back, travel through your flow. Meeting in downward dog. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, open your hip up. Draw some big knee circles, getting fluid in your joints. Warming up your hips. And then finding stillness in three-legged dog, hips parallel to the ground. Big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Drop the left foot down. Spiral your right foot open so it's 45 degrees toward the front corner, right corner of your mat. Inhale all the way up. You're sitting nice and deep. Your legs are very strong and grounded. Arms are being pulled in two directions. Inhale, flip your left palm up, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Big inhale. And as you exhale, spiral all the way down. Step your left foot back and travel through up dog or low cobra. Everybody meeting in downward facing dog. Let's all take a big inhale through the nose. Big open mouth through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Through the mouth. And coming up to the balls of our feet. Step, walk, or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Reach up, look up. Exhale. Hands come to heart center and we pause again. So resisting the urge to adjust our hair, our clothes, our stance. Observing our breath, our body sensations, our thoughts, without any kind of judgment or attachment. So just watching them all play out. Realizing that every time the phone rings, we don't have to pick it up. And when you're ready, you can let that practice go. Shake it out. And then let's move to the center of our mats. You don't have to face this direction, but we're just going to do a balancing practice for a second. So starting again, hips width apart. Nice, strong mountain foundation. So we lift in our toes and our arches, and we're spreading our toes down. Kneecaps are lifted, legs are super engaged, tailbone is rooting down towards the earth, grounding down through our heels to rise up, float up through our crown, and then reaching down with our fingertips. Mountain. And then we'll start by finding a drishti, or a focal point that you can look at one spot, ideally something that's not moving in the room around you, and soften your focus on it. So it's not like you're not super hyper focused on that spot. You're just kind of loosely focusing on it. It's just a point of reference for your mind right now. And we're going to slowly shift our weight, keeping our really strong foundation, slowly shifting your weight into your right foot. Slowly, 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 so that your left foot just naturally pops off the ground. And then checking back in with your foundation. So rooting down, kneecap lifted, tailbone down, rising up through the crown. And then deciding where you want your left tree branch to be. So maybe you just have your toe resting on the ground. That's enough of a balance practice for today. Maybe you have it with your heel below your knee, or with your toes above your knee. So at no point are you going to have your foot on your knee. And so wherever you decide to put your foot, press the sole of your foot into the inseam of your standing leg and your inseam back into your foot. So you're creating this dynamic tension that's pressing towards the midline, and also rooting down and rising up. So there's two tension points happening right now to create this balance. It's a lot of mental activity, and it's really good for the nervous system to do these balancing poses, which Lord knows we need. Oops. And then wherever you are, coming in or out of this tree pose practice, decide where you'd like your hands. And maybe in a prayer pose, maybe in a overhead prayer pose. You change your gaze and have some kind of like open hands, really wherever you want. You could also have your hands on your hips. Rooting down, rising up. Legs pressing towards the midline. And slowly, with control, wherever you're at, starting to come out of this balancing pose. And then we're going to go back to the mindfulness practice. So wherever you drop your foot, close your eyes, hands at heart center, and just get quiet. Quiet as the observer. Your body and your mind are probably never quiet. There's little information packets that are being sent to our brain all the time, from outside our body, from inside of our body, from even inside of our own mind, from our emotion center, all these different kinds of information. And we have the choice to be immediately reactive, or we have the choice to observe it and just respond to what actually needs our attention. So that's kind of what this practice is about. And when you're ready, you can allow yourself to come out of that. Shake, adjust, do whatever you want. And let's begin again on the opposite side. So again, coming to feet hips width apart. Let me just do a quick time check. Yeah. Feet hips width apart. Rooting down, rising up. Fingertips long and extended, strong through the legs. Slowly shift your weight into your left foot. Find your drishti, your focal point, and softly gaze at it. Allow your foot to pop off the ground, and then check back in with your base. Your base being your left leg this time, rooting down through your heel, rising up through your crown. And then choose where you'd like your tree branch, either a kickstand, low branch, or high branch, again, just not on the knee. And then squeeze your legs towards the midline, so your heel of your right foot or your sole of your right foot pressing into the inseam of your left leg, and vice versa, and then rooting down to rise up. Remembering to breathe. Lots of cues, even for a very simple pose. Totally fine if you come in and out of this pose a million times. The practice that counts. Remembering to breathe, deciding what variation of tree branch arms you'd like. Maybe finding a smile. Sneak one of those in there. And then when you're ready, with control, slowly coming out of your tree practice, and then wherever your foot lands, closing your eye, and turning inward to observe the information packets that are coming your way. Thoughts, emotions, sensations, sounds. Taking special care to not ascribe a positive or a negative judgment about that information. Just taking it in, filing it away. When you're ready, you can release that. Wonderful job, guys. Okay, we're going to come to the front of the mat again and move down towards more of a quiet practice. So with our arms outstretched in front of us, reach out your fingertips nice and long. I'm going to do a couple of these. This is something you can do with a book or with whatever your makeshift block is. Actually, yeah, I'll just use this stuff. So squeezing whatever your makeshift block is between both of your hands. We're going to do just a little bit of shoulder flossing because it feels so good and so hard at the same time. So gently squeezing your arms to hold that block or object between your arms. You're going to push your shoulders out, kind of almost like out of socket, extended in front of you, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together and back behind you. So reaching out, squeezing back, reaching out, squeezing back. It's subtle, but hopefully you guys can see this. Shoulders out, squeezing back. Shoulders out, squeezing back. Shoulders out, squeezing back. So just a couple more of those. Great job. You'll feel that. You're welcome. So arms out in front of you. Big inhale. And as we exhale, we'll slowly make our way through a squat onto the floor. Maybe put your hands back to catch yourself or fall, whatever suits you. Coming onto our sits bones. We're going to bring our arms out in front of us again. One more shoulder floss. So out, plug them in, stretch them out, plug them in, stretch them out, plug them in. Last time, stretch out, plug in. And then slowly lower ourselves one vertebrae at a time, all the way to the floor. We made it. Now, bringing your feet in towards your sits bones and keeping your knees straight up in the air. Hands are palms down on the mat or floor below you, next to you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, like really scrunch them up underneath your body. So they're like squished. And then press down through your heels to float up through your hips. Clasp your hands underneath you and press them down into the floor as you float your hips up. Bring your chin towards your chest and your chest towards your chin. Knees are reaching towards the center line, not splaying apart. Breathing really deeply, making space in your belly for your breath. Big inhale. And on your next exhale, unscrunch your shoulders, release your grip with your hands, and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, roll all the way down to your bottom. resting your knees together. Maybe you spread your feet further apart, so it's total relax. And then with your feet on the outer edges of your mat, go ahead and windshield wiper your knees for a second. Just do this back and forth motion a few times, loosening up the hips. And then bring your knees together in towards your body and give yourself like a really warm, deep hug. You deserve it. And then roll yourself back and forth, left to right, rolling on your hips, massaging out your hips and your low back. And then bring your hands out to either side of your body, lifting your shins up a little bit. Roll over so that your knees are reaching towards the right as your upper body stays as flat as possible on the floor. You might not be perfectly flat. Your gaze over your left fingertips are closed, eyes. And allow this pose to be melty, meaning we're not efforting to maintain a specific shape that we often are in our asana practice. We are imagining that our skeleton is in this kind of twisted body pose, and all of our organs and soft tissues are just melting to the floor around our skeleton. How's that for imagery? Not breathing in any particular way, not efforting at all, even though sometimes this position can be uncomfortable for folks. And then bring your knees back up through center, across to the opposite side. So knees are now to the left. Shoulders are sort of flat on the floor, gaze is over your right shoulder. Imagine this twist starting at your belly button and then reaching out across your chest and your shoulder. Again, letting go of taking specific shape, allowing all our muscles and our soft tissue to just melt around our skeleton. Nothing left to do, nothing left to think or to say. And gently bring your knees back up overhead. Take your peace sign fingies and find your big toes. Open up your knees like you're a happy baby, which is what this pose is called. And then gently rock yourself back and forth like a happy baby. Maybe find a way to smile again, because it's sort of absurd, so it feels amazing. Take a big inhale, big exhale. Maybe lion's breath, or releasing tension in the throat and jaw. And then when you're ready, you can either take whatever last pose your body is calling for, or I'm going to give you two options for Shavasana. You can go right into corpse pose, allowing your hands to be palms up, lying on the floor in this position if you need it. If that hurts your back a little bit, you can use your pillow or your whatever your makeshift bolster is and prop it right up against your upper legs. And that'll release some of the tension in your lower back if you're going to do the corpse pose. So this is one option. Second option is you do legs up a wall pose. And so you just need to find a wall near you. Ideally, you wait to tie this until you're right next to the wall. Take your scarf or your belt or whatever you're using as a strap and tie it around your knees so that your legs are going to stay without effort toward one another. It just makes this pose more peaceful. And then find your wall that you're going to use. Bring your butt not all the way up against the wall, but like a foot 1.5 feet out from the wall. And then rest your heels on the wall, allowing the strap to hold your legs from splaying out. So either Shavasana or legs up the wall pose. This pose is phenomenal for stress reduction, for calming your nervous system. I recommend doing it anytime you feel like it, before bed, when you're stressed, whenever. And so your hands are out beside you, palms up. You can also place right hand on your belly, left hand on your heart. And I'm going to walk us through a relaxation meditation. You can listen to the sound of my voice during that, or you can just drift off on your own. Really, this resting part is for you. It's the main part of every practice, is getting to this meditative state. So use it however you'd like. So as we find ourselves, a body resting on the floor, listening to the sound of my voice, imagine that every hair on your head can relax, so your whole scalp is just liquefying. And imagine that your brain can sink a little deeper so that it's resting on the back of your skull, close to the floor. And allow your eye sockets to soften so that your eyes sink deeper into your head. Release any tension in your forehead, around your temples, through your cheeks. Relax any tension around your jaw and your mouth. Maybe you rest your tongue behind your teeth and allow your lips to part. Relax around the front of your neck, melting it all towards the floor. Relax through the back of your neck and across the top of your shoulders, down through the side of your shoulders, your upper arms, softening in your inner elbow, and through your forearms. Relax your right palm and your right fingertips, and your left palm and your left fingertips. Relax through your upper back, around your shoulder blades, releasing any tension in your middle and lower back. Relax across your collarbones and your chest. And then imagine all of the contents in your abdomen to grow really soft, all that musculature that's holding your organs in place. Just relaxing, melting down towards the floor. Imagine the same for all of the contents of your pelvic bowl. So in your lower belly, from your belly button all the way down to your pubic bone. Everything just releasing, relaxing, softening. Release any gripping around your hips and in your glutes. Relax through the tops of your thighs, so your quads, through your hamstrings on the back of your thighs. Relax your kneecap and soften behind your knees. Relax the tops of your shins and your calves. Relax through your right arch and your right toes, and your left arch and your left toes. And imagine that you can relax your whole body just 10% more. What would that feel like? Start to gently bring yourself back towards the sound of my voice. And towards whatever sounds are in the room you're in. Guide your mind to the sensations of being a body resting on the floor. Also the subtle sensation of breath moving in your body. So maybe it's a very subtle rise and fall of your stomach or chest. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing the edges of your body back to the room. When you're ready, you can gently roll over to your side, resting in a fetal position for a couple breaths. And then using the strength of your arm, pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seated position for a quick closing meditation. So keeping your focus inward, removing props that are unnecessary. Coming into your comfortable seat and rooting down through your sits bones. We'll take 3 rounds of breath together as we did at the beginning of class. So beginning with an exhale, emptying your lungs. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale. Inhale through the nose. Big exhale. Inhale through the nose. Last time, big exhale. With eyes closed, bringing your hands, palms together, thumbs to the spot near your heart on your chest. Bow your head, bring your thumbs up to your third eye, and then bow forward in gratitude. Thank you all for practicing today or whenever it is that you get a hold of this video. Namaste.